and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on. For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said.
Read.
And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth.
Come on.
And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hasted to dress it.
Read.
And he took butter and milk and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah, thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent.
Right. So the way Abraham approached these 3 men is an example of hospitality. This is why, us being, children of God and righteous people, we have to make sure that we approach each other with hospitality, not with, grudges or like, man, giving this person a side eye. It don't matter who they are. Like, Abraham just met these 3 men for the first time ever. He don't know who these men are, right? So he approached these men with hospitality. So that's the same hospitality that we must approach with our fellow brothers and sisters. Those that we don't know and those that we do know. So just make sure to keep that in mind. Matter of fact, I had a precept. Disappeared. Well, yeah, we can use it right now. Go to 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 9. The book of 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 9. Correct.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 9.
Wait a second, hold on. Does everybody got it? Yeah. Come on. All right, let's read.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 9.
Read.
Use hospitality one to another.
One to who?
One to another.
Come on.
Without grudging.
Without what?
Without grudging.
Right, so we must show hospitality one to another without grudging, not being forced. Like, if your father or your mother tell you show hospitality to your guest, don't make it feel like you're forced to do it. Like, man, I don't even like auntie. She always picking on me and squeezing my cheeks, and she got that strong perfume, No, you gotta show hospitality. You gotta be nice to her because they coming into your home, into your sanctuary. So you need to show hospitality without grudging, without murmuring, without any hate or strife in your mind, right? So let's go back to the portion.
The book of Genesis, chapter 18 and verse 10.
Read verse 9 again. So after Abraham showed them the hospitality, he got them fed. They chilling under the tree. They relaxing. They eating, right? They asked them, where's your wife? Read.
And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent.
Come on.
And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him.
Right, so Sarah being in the tent, she was overhearing this conversation. We call it ear hustling. They not minding her business. Nah, I'm just playing around. She overheard the conversation that the men was having with Abraham, and they prophesied. They said something was gonna come to pass, And that something was Sarah was going to have a son. And Sarah heard it, right? Read.
Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after a manner of women.
Right, so in this time, in this stage of Sarah's life, she was at a certain age, well stricken in her age, right? Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. That at this age, it was not natural for a woman to give birth, to conceive children. Read.
The book of Genesis chapter 18 and verse 12.
Come on.
Therefore Sarah laughed within herself.
Sarah what?
Sarah laughed within herself.
So Sarah, overhearing this conversation about her having a son, she laughed. Because at this stage of her life, she was well stricken in her age, and it sees her, the manner of woman, meaning conceiving, giving birth to children. Because at a certain age, there's a certain age that a woman get to that it's harder for them to give birth to children, or they just can't give birth to the children. So she's at this point, she's at this stage in her life, so she laughed. She laughed when she heard that statement. Read, because she couldn't, she didn't believe it.
So okay.
Go ahead.
It says, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. That means, her monthly has been gone. So she hasn't been even getting her monthly. So it's impossible.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
It'd be impossible for her to have a child.
Right. Right, because the manner of the woman also speaking about their monthly period, monthly cycles.
Right.
All right. So read verse 12.
Verse 12. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure? My Lord being old also?
Right, so when she laughed, she made this question, she questioned herself, right? And it was like she was kind of mocking, like making fun of the fact that they mentioned that when she said that she's old, right? She waxed old. How's she going to find this pleasure because of the certain age that she's at? And she also said that Abraham's old, right? Read.
And the Most High said unto Abraham, wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I of a surety bear a child, which am old?
Right, so the Most High heard Sarah laugh, and he posed that question, like, why is this woman laughing? Right? Why is this woman laughing about this prophecy that's going to come to pass? Read.
Is anything too hard for the Most High?
Right, so the Most High posed the question. He said, is there anything too hard for the Most High, for God, for Yahweh? Read.
At the time appointed I will return unto thee, according to the time of life. And Sarah shall have a son.
And Sarah shall have a what?
A son.
Right. So the Most High, he had to confirm, like, there's nothing too hard for him, right? And that, I don't want to jump the gun. Anything's possible. Through the Most High, anything's possible. No matter if you 90 years old or 100, if the Most High wants you to have a son or a child, you will have a son. That's what the Most High was trying to say. All right? Let's get an example of that. Let's get the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 5. Let's see another example of someone that, didn't believe that they could conceive children because of their age and because of the stages of their life. All right? So let's read Luke chapter 1, verse 5.
The book of Luke, chapter 1 and verse 5.
Everybody got it? Say con. All right.
There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias.
A certain priest what?
Named Zacharias,
Okay, come on.
of the course of
My bad, I'm not doing that.
Abiel.
Abiel? Okay.
Of course of Abiel. And his wife was of the daughters of Aaron. And her name
And his
was,
wife, say that, read that again.
And his wife was of the daughters of Aaron.
Read.
And her name was Elizabeth.
Right, so we about to read about a priest named Zacharias, right? And his wife, who was the daughter of Aaron, which made her a what? A Levite. Read.
And they were both righteous before the Most High.
And they were both what?
And they were both righteous before the Most High.
Read.
Walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Most High, blameless.
Right, so that's very important to understand that these two individuals were righteous before God, righteous before Yahweh. Doing what? Walking in all the commandments and keeping the ordinances of the Most High. Meaning keeping the traditions, keeping the feast days, the high holy days. All right, read.
And they had no child.
And they had no what?
And they had no child.
They had no children. Come on.
Because that Elizabeth was barren.
Because what?
Because Elizabeth was barren.
So Elizabeth was also barren like Sarah in the time that we're reading in Genesis. Read.
And they both were now well stricken in years.
So both Zacharias and Elizabeth were at a certain age that they couldn't conceive. Read.
And it came to pass that while he executed the priest's office before the Most High in the order of his course,
come on,
according to the custom of the priest's office, his lot was to burn incense when he went into the temple of the Most High.
Right. So around this time, it was basically Zacharias' turn to go into the lot and burn his incense. This was a tradition of the priest's office. Read.
And the whole multitude of the people were praying without at the time of incense.
Come on.
And there appeared unto him an angel of the Most High, standing on the right side of the altar of incense.
So now an angel of the Most High appeared to Zacharias. Read.
And when Zacharias saw him, he was troubled, and fear fell upon him.
Right, so when Zacharias saw this angel, he was troubled and feared, because the angels of the Most High, they're not like what this world depicts those angels to be. These little babies in Pampers with white little wings and bow and arrows, No, when you saw an angel of the Most High, it was a scary thing to look at. Read.
But the angel said unto him, Fear not, Zacharias, for thy prayer is heard.
Right, so the angel told Zacharias, don't fear, because thy prayer has been heard. Read.
And thy wife Elizabeth shall bear thee a son.
And thy wife what?
Elizabeth shall bear thee a son.
Come on.
And thou shalt call his name John.
Shall call his name what?
John.
So jump down to verse 36. So an angel came to Zacharias and told them that Elizabeth shall bear a son, which we all know to be John the Baptist. So jump down to 36.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 1 and verse 36. And behold, thy cousin Elizabeth.
So now this conversation is another angel speaking with Mary, right? Read.
She hath also conceived a son in her old age.
Because at this time, Mary was looking at it to be impossible to give birth to, we understand, Christ, because she not no man yet, right? So the angel was explaining to her, don't worry, your cousin has gave birth to a son, and she was barren. They were well stricken in old age, right? Read.
And this is the 6th month with her, who was called barren.
Right, and she was called barren. She was not supposed to conceive and give birth to a child. Read.
For with the Most High nothing shall be impossible.
For what?
For with the Most High nothing shall be impossible.
For with God nothing shall be impossible. All right, so let's go back to the portion. I came here to show that the Most High posed this question to Sarah. Is anything too hard for the Most High? The answer to that is no. Nothing's impossible for the Most High. If you barren, if you stricken in old age, if you walking on one foot, the Most High gonna make it happen. I mean, you know, nothing's impossible for the Most High. So if you're going through something in your life and you think that, you know, whatever you're going through is never going to be resolved, that's the wrong mentality to have. Because nothing's too hard for the Most High. But the point and the key thing is that you have to be righteous. You have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Because that was the important factor for Elizabeth and Zacharias. All right? So let's go back to the portion.
The book of Genesis, chapter 18 and verse 14.
Read.
Is anything too hard for the Most High? At the time appointed, I will return unto thee.
Right, so the Most High told Sarah, ain't nothing too hard. Is there anything too hard for the Most High?
No.
Now, at the time that I will return unto thee, read.
According to the time of life.
Come on.
And Sarah shall have a son.
Sarah will have a son. Let's read.
Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh.
Right, so Sarah was so scared when she heard the voice of the Most High that she tried to deny that she laughed. But that's why, you know, how the scripture says, the Most High's eyes is 10, no.
10,000.
Is that the one that I'm thinking about? It's 10 times what?
Right, and the sun.
Right. The Most High, he see everything. You can't hide from the Most High. You could be in the closet in the darkness doing something, and you cannot hide from the Most High. You cannot hide from God. So Sarah tried to deny it, and the Most High, Yahweh, told her, no, you did laugh. Don't try to deny it now. Right? Because she was scared when she heard the voice of the Most High. All right? Read.
Verse 16. And the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom.
Read that again.
And the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom.
So now these men that were speaking with Abraham, it was time for them to go, and they looked toward Sodom. Read.
And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way.
And now Abraham was walking towards that direction, guiding them to Sodom. Read.
And the Most High said, Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do?
Come on.
Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him.
Read.
For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and justice and judgment, that the Most High may bring upon Abraham that which he had spoken of him.
Come on.
And the Most High said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great.
Because the what?
Because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous.
Read.
I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will know.
Read.
And the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before the Most High.
Right, so the Most High told Abraham that the things that were going to come to pass to Sodom and Gomorrah, that it would not be a secret to Abraham. All right? That it would not be a secret to Abraham, that he shall know the things that are going to happen in Sodom and Gomorrah in the next couple days. Read.
And Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked?
So Abraham, hearing what the Most High was about to do to Sodom and Gomorrah, he posed the question to God, like, are you going to destroy the righteous with the wicked? Because in Abraham's mind, you know, he probably was thinking about Lot, but, you know, he was being, what's the word I'm looking for? Optimistic, you know. He was like, man, there's got to be some righteous in Sodom and Gomorrah. So he posed that question. Are you going to destroy the righteous with the wicked? Read.
Verse 24. Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein?
So the first question that Abraham posed, well, not the first question, the first amount of people that Abraham posed to Yahweh was 50. He said, man, if there's 50 righteous in Sodom and Gomorrah, will you still destroy that place? Read.
Verse 25. That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked. That be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth be right?
Right, so Abraham was telling the Most High Yahweh, you know, it's not something that you do, killing the righteous with the wicked. That's something that's far from thee. Read.
Verse 26. And the Most High said.
Now this is the Most High Yahweh responding to Abraham's question. Come on.
If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city.
If I find 50 righteous people in Sodom, read.
Then will I spare all the place for their sake.
He said, if there'll be 50 righteous people in the land of Sodom, I will spare the whole city. I will not destroy the city if there's 50 righteous people. Read.
Verse 27. And Abraham answered and said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Most High, which am but dust and ashes.
Read.
Peradventure there shall lack five of 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5?
Come on.
And he said, If I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it.
Right, so Abraham just had to make sure that he acknowledged the superiority of the Most High Yahweh, his authority. Like, hey, I don't mean to keep questioning you. You know, I'm just but dust. But, you know, what about if there was 45 righteous people? And the Most High Yahweh said, if there's 45 righteous people, I will spare Sodom. Read.
Verse 29. And he spake unto him yet again, and said, Peradventure there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake.
Come on.
And he said unto him, O let not the Most High be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there.
Come on.
And he said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Most High. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake.
Right, so Abraham just keep trying to decrease the number to see if the Most High will destroy this place. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. If he will destroy this place for a smaller amount of people's sake, right? And Yahweh was telling him, listen, man, there's not 20 righteous people in there. There's not 15 righteous people there. Read.
Verse 32. And he said, O let not the Most High be angry, and I will speak yet but this once.
So Abraham is still acknowledging, you know, the Most High's superiority. Like, hey, Yahweh, please don't be mad with me that I keep questioning you and I keep decreasing this number. But his curiosity, he's trying to figure out if how many righteous people are in the land of Sodom. Because he can't believe that there's not even 50 righteous in there. So he keep bringing the number down to see, damn, is there really any righteous people in Sodom? Read.
Peradventure 10 shall be found there. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake.
Come on.
And the Most High went his way as soon as he had left communing with Abraham. And Abraham returned unto his place.
So Abraham even went down to the number of 10 people. And Yahweh told him, if there's 10 righteous people in the land of Sodom, I will not destroy that place. After 10, Abraham said, I give up. I'm not even going to ask another question. I'm not even going to ask if there's 5 righteous people there. He gave up at the number 10. All right? So we're going on now to chapter 19.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 1. And there came 2 angels to Sodom.
There came what?
2 angels to Sodom at even.
Read.
And Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground.
Sounds like somebody we just read about. Read.
And he said, Behold now, my Lord.
My what?
My Lord.
Come on.
Turn in, I pray you, into the servant's house.
Read that again.
Turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house.
Come on.
And tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night.
Right, so Lot saw these 2 angels that came to the gate of Sodom. And guess what? He approached these 2 angels with the same hospitality that Abraham approached the 3 men. Right? Remember, we just read the last chapter that these men looked towards Sodom and they was going to start heading to Sodom. Right? And remember, the Most High said that he going to deal with these places. Right? And now we're reading in chapter 19 that these 2 angels came to the gate of Sodom where Lot was, and Lot approached him with the same hospitality. He bowed down. He bowed himself with his face toward the ground, acknowledging their authority, acknowledging that they're lords, right? And then the same word that Abraham called the 3 men. Let's see right here. I'm looking into the blue letter. As Captain Bayath mentioned, was the Hebrew word for out of one, right? So, because like the same way I mentioned before, because this is how we operate and communicate with each other, and acknowledging their rank, for lack of better terms, he called them lords, the same way that Abraham called those 3 men lords, right? So he approached them with that same hospitality, right? Read verse 2 again.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 2. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house.
I'm your servant. That's the hospitality that we need to have towards our brothers and sisters, especially our guests that come to our sanctuaries and to our little sanctuaries on the 4 corners of the earth, or your guests that come to your homes. I'm your servant for today. Whatever you need, because you're my guest. Lay down. If you want to sit on the couch, what you want to watch on TV. You want some strong drink, some strong wine. You want some empanadas. You want some rice and beans. You want some pollo. I'm your servant, because that's hospitable. And that's something that's very important that we need to make sure that we apply in Israel. Because there's times that it lacks. It's like because we're so caught up in the world, looking at everyone with side eye, always like, man, I don't trust this person, I don't trust that person. We need to get rid of that, because that's a curse. And that's why we're still in this present captivity, because those are one of those curses that we still act out towards one another. Right? You have something to say, Chief?
I know one. Are you taking precepts today?
Yeah, come on.
Okay, I'd like to give you Matthew 25 and verse 11.
Come on.
Or verse 10.
The book of Matthew, chapter 25 and verse 10.
23, sorry, 23:10.
The book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 10. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Christ.
Read.
But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant.
Shall be your what?
Shall be your servant.
Come on.
And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased.
Shall be what?
Shall be abased.
Come on.
And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted.
Shall be what?
Shall be exalted.
Right. So this is a perfect precept. So these are the words of Christ, right? Christ is saying that even the greatest among you shall be servants to one another, right? And that whosoever shall humble themselves and abase themselves, meaning, lowering themselves, right? Shall be what? Shall be exalted. So this is this is what Christ was telling the who? The disciples, right? That these are attributes that we need to have towards one, towards your fellow Israelite. Let me say that. Your neighbor, your Israelite neighbor. You need to have those attributes to them. All right? So beautiful precept. I don't know if you want to add more to that. You can pick up the mic for the people online.
Oh, okay. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
All right, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Just to expound on that scripture, when you call someone Lord, you're not exalting them. You're humbling yourself.
Okay.
Some people get it twisted. They think you're making someone else to be more than they are.
Right.
That's not what you're doing.
Right.
You're humbling yourself. Like you say, my other one, I'm coming underneath you. I'm not, you already are the one.
Right.
To someone, right? I'm just saying I'm humbling myself to you. You know what I mean? So that's why he said it to those men. He's humbling himself to them. They're already out of one. You don't have to exalt them. You don't have to put them higher.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he's putting himself underneath their tutelage. So that's basically how it's going to bring out.
God, hallelujah. And that's why because I just breezed by it, he said, neither be ye called master, for one is your master.
That's right.
Right? Which is who? Which is the Most High, Yahweh, our Heavenly Father. Right? Even Christ. Right? He said, I'm even considered to be on your level when it comes up to the Most High. Because I humble myself down before the Most High's eyes. Everyone understand? Hallelujah. Beautiful precept. Let's go back to the portion. So Lot, he approached these two angels. Because remember, we just read in Luke with Zacharias and Elizabeth, right? That when the angel appeared unto Zacharias, what happened with Zacharias? How was he feeling? He was what? The word about to come out of your mouth, you got it? He was scared. He feared the angel. How come Lot is not fearing these angels? Because they're in the form of men. That's why he's approaching them with this hospitality, because we can pull 1,000 precepts to show you that when these angels are in their angelic form, they are a scary thing to look upon.
You ain't thinking about feeding them.
Huh?
You're not thinking about feeding them.
Right. You ain't gonna be that hospitable. You're gonna bow yourself down and be like, I'm sorry. You asking the Most High for forgiveness because you think you about to be put to death. Because you think you did something wrong. So that's something important to understand, why Lot is approaching these angels, right? The same way Abraham approached the men. So those three men that came to Abraham were what? Angels. All right, you get my drift? Okay. Let's read.
Verse 3.
Read verse 2 again.
The Book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 2. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night.
So the angels told Lot, we're going to just hang out right here in the street. You know, check out this scenario. Check out what's going on down here. Because we heard this cry that the Most High was talking about a little while ago, right? And the Most High was going to come check this place. Read.
Verse 3. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did break unleavened bread.
And did what?
And did bake unleavened bread.
Come on.
And they did eat.
So Lot consistently kept begging them, just come in, man. Just come in. Come in and stay here in the house. Right? Because Lot knew the stuff that was going down in Sodom. Well, you know, he knew of the violence, and that cry that the Most High was talking about wasn't like a sorrowful cry. It was the cry of wickedness. That same cry is the same violence in chapter 6 of Genesis, when the Most High said the men, that the sons of God slept with the daughters of men, and he heard that violence throughout the city. That's that same violence. It's just straight wickedness. So the Most High is hearing that, so he's coming to deal with the place, right? So Lot hears it every day because he lives in the middle of it. It's like, I don't know what area up here, but when you in Fort Lauderdale, there's a place called Wilton Manors. You know, you in the midst of Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, South Beach. I mean, West 4, the Village in New York. You in the midst. So it's like, if I'm living out there and these angels came to my house and I'm in the village, I'm like, hey, come inside here, man. Come inside here, because you don't want to be out here in these streets in the village. There's creatures out here. You know? Read.
But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom.
The men of who?
The men of Sodom.
So before they even got to relax and lay their head down, the two angels, right? The men of the city, the men of Sodom, read,
compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter.
So it's like word got around real quick when they saw these men, right? Read.
And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came into thee this night?
Where are the what?
Where are the men which came into thee this night?
Did y'all catch that?
Mm-hmm.
You caught that?
Got
Barton? He said, where are the men that came in unto you tonight? Didn't we read in verse 1, 2 angels came to the gate where Lot was? You see that? This is why, you know, you gotta just read it. You're like, oh, whoa, let me rewind. Let me see what's going on here. And this is how it harmonizes with each other. This is how the word, this is how the Most High manifests in front of you, right there, right here. He's letting you know these are the men. Why? Because these angels were in manly form. They were in form of men. Yes, Chief?
Yeah, Hebrews 13:2, right?
Hebrews 13? No, I don't got that in the chamber. Oh, yeah, I do.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'm going there in a little bit.
Okay.
Come. Read.
Where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
That we may what?
That we may know them.
So these men of Sodom, men of city, they asking Lot for these, where these men at? So we can know them. We're going to find out what they meant by that. Read.
And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly.
Do not what?
Do not so wickedly.
Because this thing that they wanted to know about the men was wicked. All right? Read.
Behold, now I have 2 daughters.
You have what?
I have 2 daughters.
Come on.
Which have not known man.
Which have what?
Which have not known man.
What does that mean? That they what? That they're virgins, right? That these 2 daughters have not known man, right? Read.
Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as it is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing. For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
Right. So now, that knowing that the men wanted to do, the men of Sodom wanted to do with the men, the angels, right, is the same knowing that men do with women. Understood? Okay. So now, Lot, he's thinking about 2 things. He's trying to prevent the men from committing wickedness, but he's also trying to protect these men. Because, you know, I'm not even going to say that. Because these angels were in form of men. So he don't know yet that the Most High about to put this place to death. You know, he doesn't know that yet. So he's trying to prevent these men to commit wickedness and sin that he even offered his 2 daughters. Right? Read.
Verse 9. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a slaughter. And he will needs be a judge.
Mm-hmm.
Now will we deal worse with thee than with them.
Then with who?
Than with them.
Man, come on.
And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door.
So remember, Lot closed the door behind them. So they trying to get into the door. They pushing the door. They knocking on it. And they're like, listen, man, if you don't let us through here, the things we wanted to do to these men, you going to get it worse.
Man.
This sounds like American Me. I mean, I ain't going to use any other description. This sounds like American Me right here, man. This is Sodom, man. Read.
But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut the door.
Listen, man, these men had to be some strong men. You know what I'm saying? These men had, man, I just picture, you know, the cartoons when somebody yanks somebody, pew, and they disappear from that scene, from that screen. That's exactly what they did to Lot. Like, man, get your, and they locked the door. Just picture that, envision it. Read.
And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness.
With what?
With blindness.
So these angels smote the men with blindness. Read.
Both small and great.
Because remember, there was young and old men that were desiring these men, these angels. Read.
So that they wearied themselves to find the door.
So the angels smote these men with blindness and they couldn't even find the door no more. They're like, man, where's Lot's house? They couldn't find it no more. There was a little bit of mercy because they could have done something else to these men, right? But there was a little mercy applied. Read.
And the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any...
Pause right there. Stop right there real quick. Let's get the book of Hebrews chapter 13 verse 2.
The book of Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 2.
Everybody got it? Book of Hebrews chapter 13 verse 2. Read.
Be not forgetful to entertain strangers.
Be not what?
Be not forgetful to entertain strangers.
Right. Strangers meaning, people that you don't normally know and see on a daily basis, right? Read.
For thereby some have entertained angels unawares.
For what?
For thereby some have entertained angels unawares.
This is why hospitality is so important amongst Israel, because the strangers that you're entertaining, that can be an angel, and you wouldn't even know, right? Because why? Because they come in the form of men, right? That's why, you know, in Hebrews it's saying, let brotherly love continue, right? And be not forgetful to entertain strangers. Like, don't, just because you don't know that person, don't show, because I know Chief Shalom, and I might not know this other person that come through that door. I'm going to show more hospitality to Chief Shalom and not show any to this person because I don't know them. And that person could be an angel ready to give me my blessing. And I'll lose it. Because I wasn't hospitable. I wasn't showing that brotherly love, that sisterly love. Right? This is why we need we got to be real careful how we treat each other. There might be an angel amongst us right now. And we don't know. Right? Read that again. Verse 2.
Verse 2. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares.
Right. Let's go back to the portion. We're going to read down to 15, then we're going to get an example of angels appearing as men. We'll get one more example. So let's go back to verse 12. Genesis 19 and 12.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 12.
Come on.
And the man said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides son-in-law, and thy sons, and
Right.
thy daughters?
Come on.
And whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place.
So the angel asks Lot, is there anybody else here with you, right? Or if you got any belongings that you care about, right? You need to get them and bring them out of this place with you. Read.
For we will destroy this place.
For we what?
For we will destroy this place.
These men said they're going to destroy this place. These angels are going to destroy this place. Read.
Because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Most High.
Because the what?
Because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Most High.
Because all this wickedness is going on in Sodom and Gomorrah, right, is reaching up to the Most High. And now he's seeing. He always seeing it, but now it's like, man, it's getting out of hand. Right? Read.
And the Most High had sent us to destroy it.
He has sent who?
He has sent us to destroy it.
Come on.
And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law.
So Lot went out, you know, he went to go let his sons-in-law know, like, yo, man, we need to get up out this place. Read.
Which married his daughters.
Come on.
And said, up, get you out of this place. For the Most High will destroy this city.
Come on.
But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law.
Right, but the sons-in-law, they wasn't taking Lot seriously, right? They was like, what are you talking about? You know, just like in this present day, right? You come into this truth, you know, you try to tell your family members or your friends, and they looking at you like you crazy. They mocking you. They call you anti-Semitic, right? They think Kanye's crazy now. They mock him, right? They make fun of Kyrie Irving, right? This been going on for years. This ain't nothing new. It's just now it's on a platform that billions of people see, right? So we're seeing it manifest in front of our eyes because we've been dealing with what they're dealing with for years now. Once you come into this truth, you tell them this place is going to be destroyed, they look at you like, what? You crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. So the sons-in-law, they're looking at Lot like, man, because remember, these angels are in the form of men. So they're like, what do you mean the Most High going to come destroy this place? How? With who? We don't see everything's good. Everything's going well, right? The same thing. The same thing that's going down in Sodom and Gomorrah right now, and what we're reading is the same thing that will happen. Come on, what you got? Ezekiel 3 and 4? Read.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 4. And he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them.
Con. Something wrong with this mic. Yeah, so read that again.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 4. And he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them.
Read on.
For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech, but of a hard language, but to the house of Israel.
Right. I mean, I see what you're doing. Is this thing plugged up? This thing is going in and out.
Yes.
Con, I see what you're doing. Yeah, the words that we receive from the scriptures, these are the Most High's words. So the prophecies that we see that are going to come to pass in this Bible, we tell that to our people, right? So that's the same thing that the Most High was telling Ezekiel, to go give these words unto his children. Con.
Yeah, like he was telling his sons, hey man, y'all need to get up and let's go, because the Most High finna destroy this place.
Con.
So he was giving them the words, telling them what they need to be doing.
Con.
Y'all need to get up out of it.
So let's go back to the portion.
Genesis.
Read verse 14.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 14. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place, for the Most High will destroy this city. That he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law.
But he seemed
as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law.
Come on.
And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city.
In the what?
In the iniquity of the city.
Right. So the Most High, the angels was trying to get Lot out of there before they get consumed with the iniquity of the city, the iniquity of Sodom. Right. The same thing is going to happen again in our time. We need to get up when the Most High gives us that signal, and when we see, that moon full of blood, or the missiles going, we just gotta start praying to the Most High, and just start, make sure you bow down on your knees and just praise Him. That's all the advice I can give you, because you ain't gonna be able to get up out of this place unless the angels come and get you. Unless you got a ticket for the chariots that's coming by to get you. All right, read.
Verse 16. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, and the Most High being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth, and set him without the city.
Okay, so how many people was that?
4.
How many?
Lot, his wife, 2 daughters.
God. So just 4, right? So remember the conversation Abraham was having with the Most High? He had to go to the number 4, and then Most High would have said, well, you know what? I will not destroy the place for 4 righteous people. But even that, because we're going to read later on, they wasn't righteous anyway. Right? Read.
Verse 17. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, Escape for thy life.
Escape for what?
Escape for thy life.
Come on.
Look not behind thee.
Look not what?
Look not behind thee.
Read.
Neither stay thou in all the plain, escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed.
Right. So why did the angels tell Lot and his 2 daughters and his wife to not look behind thee? Escape for that life. Don't look behind thee. What does that mean to you when you read that? Like the place is about to get destroyed, right? And they tell them just get out of here.
Forget about everything.
Don't look behind you. Say it again.
Forget about everything.
Come on, don't forget about everything. Yes, brother?
To not check back.
Right, not check back. Why they don't want him to check back? Why they don't want them to look back?
Because they don't want to be destroyed.
They don't what?
Don't want to be destroyed.
Come on, they don't want them to get destroyed. That's true. Someone said something on that side? So you don't get swept away, okay. But they leaving. They leaving. You can't look back. Like, if I look back, I'm going to get in trouble if I look back. Like,
Might fall.
I might trip and fall.
Like, remember the city no more.
God. It's all a mental thing. Right? It's like, why don't, if you looking back, it's like you don't want to leave something behind.
You miss it.
You exactly. Right? Let's get Luke real quick. Chapter 17, verse 28. No, that one is, I'm going to use that one for his wife.
Chapter.
That one is,
Verses.
whoever shall seek their life shall lose it. You had 9 and 62 for me? The plow? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I got that one too. I'm going to use that one for his wife. Luke chapter 17, verse 28
The book of Luke, chapter 17 and verse 28.
to verses 23. Read.
Likewise also as it was in the days of Lot.
As the days of who?
As the days of Lot.
Come on.
They did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven,
Come on.
and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed.
In the what?
In the day when the Son of Man is revealed.
So the same thing that was going on and what we're reading right now with Sodom and Gomorrah is the same thing that's going to happen when the Son of Man is revealed, when the second coming of Christ. With the second coming of Christ. Read.
In that day, he which shall be upon the housetop, and his stuff in the house.
So in that day, right, those that are going to be on the housetop, right, and their house all the way down there, right, read, and their stuff is in it. Come on.
Let him not come down to take it away.
Right, don't go back down to the house to go grab your Jordans or your PS5. You understand? Or your Call of Duty. Right. What else we got? Or your Mary Kay, makeup kit, or or that good roti that you had. You gotta leave all that stuff down there. Read.
And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back.
Right, and then those that are out there in the field, don't turn back like, man, on my crops, on my avocados, on my jackfruit, on my mangoes and star fruit, and my what Ariella likes,
Jackfruit.
nah, the green one, man. Soursop. Oh, my soursop, man. Leave that stuff alone. Don't turn back. You just did a whole lot of work and you picked all this stuff, you gathered it, and then you're like, man, you trying to, man, Let me grab a couple. No, just go. Oh man, leave your iPhone in the house. What Minister Masha always like to say? I leave my wallet and my car keys on the table and I'm gone. He said, don't call me, don't text me. He said, I'm gone. My phone gonna be right there. Read.
Remember Lot's wife.
Remember who?
Remember Lot's wife.
Read.
Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it.
Right, so when you looking back, right, you trying to save that old life, that you know, that man, that you was a rapper, you was a promoter, you was a hustler, you know, you're like, man, that life was good. Well, I'm about to go live in the wilderness. I'm about to go be Walking Dead out here. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be what's that show that's on Apple now? C. The guy with the Mammalian guy that they all live in the wilderness.
I was just trying to watch that the other day too.
These guys live in the wilderness and they blind, and they live off of the I don't want to live like that. I don't want to lose this life. Read that again from the top.
Whosoever shall seek to save his life.
And that's the key thing. That's why the angels told them don't look back, because it's a mental thing. If you look back, you're trying to hold on to something. You're trying to hold on to something, right? So that's why he told them, don't look back, right? Read.
Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it.
Because if you seek to save that life, you're going to lose your life. So if Lot would have turned around, you know, he would have, the same thing that we're about to find out happened to his wife. Read.
And whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it.
Now, if you forget about that, don't just keep going. You know, just attack that one goal, you will preserve your life. That's why the angels told Lot, don't even look back, just get out of the city. Right? So it's a mental thing. Right? It's not necessarily that you're going to look back and you might get hurt. Because that's, you know, a lot of people pose that question. You know, why did it matter if he looked back? Why is that such a big deal? Right? Because it's a mental thing. Right? When you come into this truth, you know, Chief always say, you got to bury that old man in 12 feet deep. Because he might try to come back up. Right? But when you bury him, don't look back like, man, I should, maybe let me leave the shovel over here. I might take him out one day. I might bring him back to life. Yeah, just let me go. Let me bring back some flowers. You know, bring a little bottle of some Remy 1738. You know, and pour it on the grave. You know. No, leave that man in there. Don't look back. Don't even look upon him. You know, anything you have that remind you of your old life, get rid of it. Friends, family. We're gonna find out. That's things. The Most High ain't dealing with none of that. If you have a close one or material things that remind you of your past life, you gotta let it go. Right. You gotta let it go. You can't look back upon it. Let's go back to the portion. So let's go back to the portion. And it was, read verse 17 again.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 17. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life, look not behind thee.
So the angels are telling them this. So this is a commandment, you know. This is advice coming from these angels, coming from the Most High. The angels are the messengers of the Most High. So the angels are telling Lot, escape for that life, don't look back. Read.
Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed.
Read.
And Lot said unto them, Oh, not so, my Lord. Behold now, thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast shewed unto me in the saving of my life.
Come on.
and I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me, and I die.
Right, so Lot, he just started thinking like, man, I can't escape to this mountain. You know, there might be mountain bears or mountain lions in there that might kill me. I don't think I'll survive in the mountain. So, you know, since you're saving my life and you're magnifying this mercy upon me, right? Read.
Behold now, this city is near to flee unto.
There's a city that's actually nearby on the where I'm fleeing to, right? Read.
And it is a little one.
It's a small city. You know, it's not a big deal. It's a small little city. You know, read.
Oh, let me escape thither.
Let me escape to this city instead of going to the mountain where I may not be able to survive. Read.
Is it not a little one?
Yeah, they're like, read, remind them. It's just a small city. It's not a big deal. Come on.
And my soul shall live.
Come on.
And he said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city, for which thou hast spoken.
Come on.
Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. Therefore, the name of the city was called Zor.
So they accepted this plea, you know, that Lot gave him. He said, all right, you know what? We're going to allow you to go to this city, right? But we can't do nothing to the other cities, right? We can't do nothing to Sodom and Gomorrah until you are in the clear, right? And what Zoar means in the Hebrew is insignificance. It's like that's why Lot said it's just a little city. It was something that wasn't even significant in the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, because it was one of the 5 cities that the Most High was bound to destroy. But because Lot wanted that city, he allowed that city, he allowed that land to survive, right? There was nobody dwelling there. So he let him get it, and we're going to find out that he destroyed the rest. Read.
Verse 23. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zor.
As soon as Lot got into Zor, the sun was risen upon the earth. This sun must be blazing hot. Read.
Then the Most High rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Most High out of heaven.
Read.
And he overthrew those cities.
Those what?
And he overthrew those cities.
Read.
And all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground.
Even that which grew upon the ground. If the Most High threw up a spirit bomb, for those that watch Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I see you. You like that, huh? Most High spirit bomb on Sodom and Gomorrah. And he blew this place up. All right? And nothing, he destroyed, there was not, what it said, that which grew upon the ground, the little plants and flowers, they were burned to ashes. Why? Because this place was walking contrary to the laws of God, being wicked. You understand? Read.
Verse 26. But his wife looked back from behind him.
But his wife did what?
His wife looked back from behind him.
Man. Read.
And she became a pillar of salt.
And she became a what?
A pillar of salt.
So why did she become a pillar of salt? Yes, brother?
She looked back.
She looked back. And what did the angels tell Lot and them? Not to what? Not to look back. Right? So that is a sign, an example of disobedience. Right? That's one point to bring out. Because the angels told you not to look back, who are the messengers of God, and you go look back. Then what happened? You turn into a pillar of salt. Let's get Luke chapter 9, verse 62. And the reason why she turned into a pillar of salt, because she was seeking for that life. She was trying to preserve the life that she had in Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, she probably had nice big houses. You know, they had some stuff. They had some material things, right? She was trying to hold on to that. You know? You got it?
The book of Luke, chapter 9 and verse 62.
Read.
And Yahushua said unto him,
What he said?
No man, having put his hand to the plow.
No man or woman. We understand the Most High. The Bible speaking masculine terms, but it's the man and woman, right? So we both fighting for our salvation, right? Read.
No man, having put his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of the Most High.
It's fit for the what?
For the kingdom of the Most High.
So what that mean? What that mean? Anybody give me an example of what that mean, or what does that scripture mean right there?
Meaning you can't, think of something like you can't love.
Say it a little bit
You
louder.
can't love both sides or something like that. You can't worship two gods, one or the other. So if you're in this wholeheartedly, you gotta be this. You can't really.
Right, you can't be double-minded. Come on. It's double standard. Come on. Because if you got your hand on the plow, what that mean? When you got your hand on the plow, what are you doing?
Tilling the land.
You working, right? What you working on? It's a metaphor for what?
Just working on you.
You working on your salvation. You keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. That's your work, right? You come into this truth, you get rid of the old man. And you constantly working on becoming a better you, right? But while you working on that, you looking behind you at the old man. I'm keeping the Shabbat, but man, they talking about we might get lit Friday night. Might be a party at Ginger Bay. Las Olas. You know, you can go there Saturday night when the Shabbat is over. But Friday night on the Shabbat, no. You were there working on the commandments, but you still looking back on the old you. Like, man. No man, having put his hand on the plow, having changed his life, coming to this truth, starting to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, right? And looking back onto the old man, old woman, is fit for the kingdom. That's why Lot's wife turned into a pillar of salt. She wasn't fit for Lot's new journey that they will embark upon. Yes, Chief.
Just want to expound on that a little bit, if I can.
Okay.
The looking back is done through doubt. And you can't serve the Most High doubting. If you doubt, then you lack faith. If you lack faith, well, faith is where we're saved. We're saved by faith, right? The works we do it by faith, right? So if you look back, you lack the very faith you need to achieve what you're trying to achieve. So you take yourself out the game. I'll pull a verse.
Is it James?
No, it's Mark.
Yeah, we can go, Mark.
Mark 11:22.
Okay.
Mark 11:22. I know you have your verses laid out. I don't want to.
No, we good.
Mark 11:22. So all this looking back is talking about doubt. If you ever climb a high tower, what does people say if you climb a high tower? What they tell you not to look?
Don't look down, right?
Why? Why don't look down? Fear. You're going to get nervous because you're going to see how high you really are. If you're looking up, you have no idea how high you are. So when you're looking forward, you have no idea what's going on. Don't look back because it can pull you back, it can draw you back, it can hold you back. Don't look down because you will end up going down. So what the Father is saying through faith, continue on the path that I'm putting you on. Read that.
The book of Mark, chapter 11 and verse 22. And Yahushua answering said unto them, have faith in the Most High.
Have what?
Have faith in the Most High.
Have faith in the Most High. Go ahead.
For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he said shall come to pass.
Go ahead.
He shall have whatsoever he said.
Mhm. He shall have whatsoever he said, meaning that he will get the blessing because he believes, he's not doubting. Now it sounds ridiculous to tell you a mountain go get in the sea. That sounds impossible, right? Until that tsunami comes, right? And then it's very possible. So there's always a way that something that's impossible can be possible. You just may not see how that's possible. But if you have faith, right, without doubt, then you make all things possible. So what Lot's wife lacked was faith. And her faith spoiled her salvation. She was on the road to salvation. She was leaving the city. But her lack of faith stopped her from getting what she tried to obtain. So the lesson in it all is don't let doubt come creep in and take away the work that you've already done. Right? Because it can, just like Lot's wife, right? All right, go ahead now.
Hallelujah. Beautiful precept. Let's go back to the portion. And it's that's a very important point that Chief brought out, because as you read on in the portion, we're going to understand that faith is very important in the story that we're about to read with Abraham and Isaac and Sarah. So we was at you can read 26 again. Yeah.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 26. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt.
Read.
And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Most High.
Come on.
And he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as smoke of a furnace.
Read.
And it came to pass, when the Most High destroyed the cities of the plain, that the Most High remembered Abraham, and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in the which Lot dwelt.
Right, so as the two angels were going down to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, the reason why they went to go visit Lot, because the Most High remembered Abraham. Because who's Lot to Abraham? Not his brother, but his... No? He's his... Oh, yeah. I said, well, Lot is to Abraham.
Oh.
Nephew. Yeah, but yes, he's the uncle. Okay. So, you know, the Most High was like, all right, let me look out for your nephew, but to make sure I send my angels to take him out before I destroy the city. If it wasn't for Abraham, Lot wouldn't be saved. You understand? And I think to this present day, I mean, we don't have to pull it up. This land of Sodom and Gomorrah existed, like, nothing still grew to this present day.
It still smells burnt.
It still smells burnt. I had a whole breakdown. The brimstone, the chemicals that came from brimstone and what was the other thing?
Sulfuric acid.
Right. It still exists in the land. Like Esau, he seek out these things. He got a machine that he put in the dirt and test for these chemicals. It's still there to this present day. Right, there you go. Oh, that's the guy. Go back down. Then you had the titles right there, Sodom and Gomorrah. Keep going down. To the left, this guy. He's the guy that he tells you, you can click on one of those pictures. Nothing, it said, he destroyed everything, even that which grew off the ground. Nothing grows in this area. Yeah, you see all that in the back? That's all mountains of the stuff that the Most High burnt. Right? Abraham woke up in the morning, he saw this area engulfed in smoke. Nothing grows to this very day. That's how you know the Bible is real. Yeah, bro?
They said they found material there that they can't find nowhere else on this planet, on the face of the earth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Most High said the sun risen and sent brimstone and fire to that place. All right, so the water for that. So this very day, y'all can do the research on YouTube. It's like a whole, like a mini documentary. The guy walking around and he's telling you, oh, this could be the land. Huh?
I went there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Chief was there in the flesh.
All the brothers say
It
when
still
there's
smells like burnt.
a dog, you say the same thing.
Yeah.
The rocks will crumble in your hand.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
That's just crazy. All right, so let's continue. So now we're going to go into Lot. What's going on with Lot in the land of Zoar, in the city of Zoar? Come on.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 30. And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him. For he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in a cave, he and his 2 daughters.
So I don't know what's going on with Lot. He asked for the city of Zoar, and now he's scared of dwelling there. So now he's leaving this city, because he fears this place. I don't have too much details on that. So he went to go dwell in the mountain in the cave with his 2 daughters. Come on.
And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old.
Our father is what?
Our father is old.
Come on.
And there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth.
Come on.
Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him,
Read.
that we may preserve seed of our father.
That we may what?
Preserve seed of our father.
So now the mentality in these 2 women, these 2 daughters, because in their head, there's no other man on earth in the cities that they were in. It was only their father, right? So now they plotting, because in their mind, what they think they're about to do is right. Because they're like, oh, we need to preserve seed for our father so our father's name could live on. Right? Read.
And they made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in and lay with her father. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father.
Read.
And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose.
Right. That's why the scriptures, give us advice not to drink too much, not to be drunken much, right? Because you can get to a point that you don't know what you're doing. I can contest, when I was going off, when you mix in the 2, you start blaming it on the alcohol, right? You wake up in the morning and like, I don't know, brothers, some people might be like, this is BS, this can't be real. How he didn't know what he was doing? Listen, man, most I say confess one to another. There's nights I woke up and did not have one clue what I did the night before. I'm hearing stories from my cousins, my brothers, and they think I'm lying. I'm there like, I don't remember none of that. That's why what Minister Marshall like to say? Wine and spirits. He said it's wine and spirits, man, because there's different spirits in that bottle. When you drink too much, that's why the Most High say through the wisdom of Solomon, I believe that, you got to be moderate. You got to drink in moderation. Not Solomon, but in the scripture, you got to drink with moderation. You can't drink too much because these things. So these 2 women plotted on their father, and then it's like, you got to think about what's going on with Lot. He didn't know any better. It's his daughters. You don't think they're about to take advantage of him? They just saw a whole place get burned down. So he's in the cave with these 2, and they're like drinking. So he's like, oh, You know, the Most High say drink wine when when you're in a sorrowful state, man. You know, it helps it helps you out. So, but they gave him too much. He kept drinking too much. And what happened here is incense. Because the Most High understands that it's against, that's against his law for a father to sleep with his daughter. But that's what happened here. Just keep it real, right? Some people say, oh, why they allow this story to be put in the Bible? This is just an example to show us that this is not it's something you don't do, right? Because we find out later on that Moab and Ammon was cursed, right? The Most High said that now one Moabite can step into the sanctuary of the Most High later on in Numbers, I believe, right? So matter of fact, read on.
The book of Genesis chapter 19 and verse 36. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father.
By their what?
By their father.
Read.
And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab.
So the firstborn, the older daughter, bare a son, and his name was Moab. Read.
The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day.
The same is the father, the progenitor of the Moabites until this very day. Come on.
And the younger.
Now the second daughter, the younger one, read.
She also bare a son.
Come on.
And called his name
Ben-Ami.
Ben-Ami.
Yeah, Ben-Ami.
The
read.
name is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day.
And Ben-Ami, which is the son of Ammon, right? Or Ammon's son in Hebrew, right? He is the progenitor of the Ammonites, right? So this is just the story about how Moab and Ammon came about, right? I'm going to go into the scriptures later that goes against this, because I'm using that for Abraham and Sarah, as we're going to find out, because this world, they believe that Sarah is Abraham's half-sister because of a statement that he made. So we're going to read that and then use all the scriptures and laws that go against these acts that the daughters did with her father, right? So we're going to hold that for the next chapter. All right, so this is how Moab and Ammon came about, through incense. I'm going to hold on to some statements that I used to say back then, but we're going to leave that for another time. Anybody want to add on to that? Good. All right, let's move on to the next chapter. Chapter 20.
The book of Genesis, chapter 20 and verse 1. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country.
Come on.
And dwelled between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said unto Sarah his wife, She is my sister.
She is what?
She is my sister.
Come on.
And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah.
Read.
And the Most High came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, Behold, thou art but a dead man.
Thou art what?
Thou art but a dead man.
So imagine you put yourself in Abimelech's shoes. The Most High comes to in your dream and said, you a dead man. You be scared as heck, right? You be like, what did I do? What did I do? You begging for your life. What did I do? Read.
For the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife.
Right. So, what did we read last week that's similar to the situation that's going on right now? No one remembers?
What was the question?
What we read last week, I don't think he was here. What this sound? What did Abraham do this before? Anyone can answer now. Yeah, I'm looking at you. So Abraham, this same situation happened when Abraham went to Egypt with the king of Pharaoh, with the Pharaoh, the king. Remember, he lied to Pharaoh and said that Sarah was his sister. It's the same thing going on again. All right?
Genesis 12 and 11.
Yeah, come on, yeah. You got it. Oh, you got it, Cap. Read. So, you know, Abraham still has the same mentality that, yo, you know, I'm amongst these people that don't keep Torah. You know, so I got to make sure that, you know, if I tell them that she's my sister, they won't kill me. Because remember, the reason why he lied when he went into Egypt, because the law says, you know, if your husband dies or is put to death, that's when it's okay for a woman to go ahead and marry another. Right? But if he's not put to death, she can't go marry another person. So, in his mind, he's like, all right, these guys are wicked. They're going to keep half Torah, put me to death, so they can be like, oh, yeah, we keeping the Torah because you dead. Now we take on your wife. Because that's the, things like that happen. He said it, not me. That's what David did. He took Uriah and put him in the front line. Because he knew, man, if this man put to death, then I could take this woman. Which is, that's off. That's I call it half, I don't want to call it half Torah. It's quarter Torah. It's like, you know, yeah, bro?
Is that what it means when it says if your brother dwell with you, he can take on your wife if something happens to you?
When your brother dwell with you?
I guess they don't understand.
I think you're talking about the story of Onan.
The law of the brother-in-law. If a man has a wife and has no male children, then his brother will take his wife if he dies.
Oh, okay, Khan, yes.
Is that what that referring to?
No, that's not what it's referring to.
It's two
No.
different things.
Yeah, it's two different
Oh, okay.
things. Khan. So that's what's going on. He lied to the king of Abimelech because Abraham thinks his nation that where Abimelech dwells in is wicked. You got something to say, Cap?
Romans 7:2.
Romans 7:2?
Yes.
All right, let's get it. Go ahead, you get it.
The book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 2. For the woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband.
Is bound to what?
Is bound by the law to her husband.
Come on.
So long as he liveth.
So long as he what?
So long as he liveth.
Read.
But if the husband be dead.
If he be what?
If he be dead.
Come on.
She is loosed from the law of her husband.
She is what?
Loosed from the law of her husband.
Right, so that's the understanding. That if the husband be dead, then she's loose from those consequences. You understand, of adultery. Right? The punishment of adultery. The husband has to be dead. You know, then she becomes what they call a widow, and then she's, you know, she can get together with another man. Right? So, you know, the same way the same mentality he had when he went to the land of Egypt with the Pharaoh the king is the same mentality that he's having with Abimelech. That he thinks this nation is a wicked nation. They're gonna kill me because they understand I need to be dead so she can be let loose. All right, so let's go back to the portion.
The book of Genesis, chapter 20 and verse 4.
Read.
But Abimelech had not come near her. And he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation?
Come on.
Said he not unto me, she is my sister? And she, even she herself said, he is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this.
Right, so Abimelech is pleading at this moment. He's like, yo, man, Most High, you going to destroy me because I was being righteous? Right? You know, they told me they were brothers and sisters. That's the only reason why I took it in. Come on.
And the Most High said unto him in a dream, Yea, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart.
In the what?
In the integrity of thy heart.
Come on.
For I also withheld thee from sinning against me.
For I also what?
Withheld thee from sinning against me.
Come on.
Therefore suffer I thee not to touch her.
Say it. Read that again. Therefore what?
Therefore suffer I thee not to touch her.
So I know it was understood last week's portion that the Most High has his hands on the king's heart, right? Let's get Proverbs 5 and 21. And then we'll get Proverbs 21 and 1 again.
You said what?
Proverbs chapter 5, verse 21. So the Most High responded to Abimelech, I know. Well, he said, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of your heart, because I got my hand on your heart. Understand? Read that.
The book of Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 21.
Read.
For the ways of man
For the ways of who?
For the ways of man
Come on.
are before the eyes of the Most High.
Read.
And he pondereth all his going.
And he pondereth what?
All his going.
For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Most High. And he pondereth all his goings. That's not what I wanted. I think I confused that. Huh?
21 and 1.
No, yeah, I wanted that. I wanted the other one, the man's goings. Is that the Most High?
20 and 24.
Oh, 20 and 24. Get that real quick. 20, 24. I pulled the wrong piece up.
Proverbs 16 and 1.
One of the man's goings?
No, it's what it's saying, like,
Get 20 and 24 real quick.
The book of Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
Man's goings are of the Most High.
Right.
How can a man then understand his own way?
Right, because the man's goings is of the Most High. Right? The Most High control everything. Now jump to chapter 21, verse 1. So Abimelech, his goings, the deed that he was doing, that was the Most High controlling that. Read. And the Most High, Abimelech was a king, right? King of Gerar. Come on.
The book of Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1.
Read.
The king's heart.
The king's what?
The king's heart
Is where?
is in the hands of the Most High.
Is in the what?
Is in the hand of the Most High.
So the king's heart is in the hand of the Most High, meaning the king's mind. Whatever the king is thinking, the Most High controlling it. With all the kings. Later on, even with the Pharaoh and Moses' time. We're going to read on later on in the portion in Exodus. Most High always has his hands on the king's heart. All right? Finish that.
As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
All of the king's actions, the Most High is in control of all that. At this present day, who's our king now? The what? Money bag who? Sleepy Joe, right? The Most High control him too. You understand? Because that's our king, quote unquote, in this present time. Because why? He is the president of America. So everything that's going on, the Most High control that. You understand? You get that stimulus. Don't say all praises to the Most High. Don't say now you get a loan, a student loan forgiveness. Hey, you get the PPPs, but if you don't do it the right way, you're going to be put in jail. But this is just an example of a present day king, which is the president. The Most High got his hands on their hearts and their minds as well. Let's go back.
Just to bring something with Abimelech.
Yeah.
The Most High said he knows his integrity.
Come.
So even though Abimelech was not Hebrew, right?
Right.
Or I should say, Hebrew, wasn't an Israelite.
Right.
He knew that, this guy is a just guy. Your integrity. You know what I mean? So I didn't make you go too far with this.
Right.
Because Most High never make nobody sin. Remember that. You know what I mean? Now the wicked is made to do wicked. Abimelech was not made to do wickedly.
Come.
You couldn't have Abimelech sleep with Sarah. That's
Come.
why he said, I stopped you, because I wasn't going to tarnish you with this.
God, no, hallelujah.
Just wanted to bring that
I
up.
remember, what's that scripture? It's in Apocrypha.
15 and 11, Sirach.
So right, let's get it. So right, 15 and 11. That's in the Apocrypha.
The green right here.
Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus chapter 15, verse 11. Go straight to the point. Verse 19.
The book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 15 and verse 19. Page 79. And his eyes are upon them that fear him,
Come on.
and he knoweth every work of man.
Read.
He hath commanded no man to do wickedly.
He have what?
He hath commanded no man to do wickedly.
Read.
Neither hath he given any man license to sin.
Any what?
Any man license to sin.
Right, so just like Chief was saying, he didn't give... 15 and 11?
11 says the same thing. Well, in a different way.
Oh, okay. I know I had to read all the way down. That's why I jumped down.
No, you just 11.
Go verse 11.
Book of Sirach, chapter
Oh, yeah.
15 and verse 11. Say not thou, it is through the Most High that I fell away.
Right, don't blame the Most High that you went off. Come on.
For thou oughtest not to do the things that he hated.
Right, because you're not gonna do the things that you shouldn't do the things that the Most High hate. He won't allow you to do the things that he hates. That's why he didn't allow Abimelech to do that to Sarah, right? So that's why Abimelech posed that question: you gonna do this to a righteous nation, right? Because they was keeping in those times, that was a custom, right? A lot of those nations were just, and they was keeping the instruction that the Most High gave in those times, right? The same thing's gonna happen again when the 12 tribes come back, when the 144,000 elect come back into rulership. Everybody gonna be keeping Torah, and whoever break it, gonna get dealt with. All right. So let's go back to the portion. Read verse 6, and then we'll continue.
The book of Genesis.
So the Most High told Abimelech that he understood, that he know the integrity of his heart, because his hands is on his heart, and he didn't allow Abimelech to do that. It wasn't Abimelech's own will, his own doing. The Most High was controlling his actions. Read.
The book of Genesis, chapter 20 and verse 6. And the Most High said unto him in a dream, Yea, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart.
Come on.
For I also withheld thee from sinning against me.
Come on.
Therefore suffer I thee not to touch her. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet.
For he is a what?
For he is a prophet.
Abraham's a prophet. Read.
And he shall pray for thee,
Come on.
and thou shalt live.
Read.
And if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die.
Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt surely die,
Come on.
thou and all that are thine.
So the Most High, threatened Abimelech, if you don't let go Sarah right now, you and all that you own and everyone that's in your house is going to be put to death. Read.
Therefore Abimelech rose early in the morning, and called all his servants, and told all these things in their ears. And the men were sore afraid.
And the men were what?
And the men were sore afraid.
Come on.
Then Abimelech called Abraham and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us? And what have I offended thee?
Right, so Abimelech was mad. I mean, you know, any man would be mad when you lied to them, you know, concerning something that could lead you to death. Right? Yo, man, why you told me she was your sister when she's your wife? Most High went in my dreams, saying gonna put me to death and my whole family. I'll be mad with you. Right? I'll be mad when you do that to me, man. You know, I'm righteous. It's like, I'm trying to keep, you know, I'm trying to be right in the eyes of the Most High. You gonna make me, yeah, the man was mad. He was like, he was offended. Like, what did I do to offend you for you to do this to me? Read.
That thou hast brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin.
A great what?
A great sin.
Come on.
Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done.
Read.
And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What sawest thou, that thou hast done this thing?
Read.
And Abraham said, Because I thought surely the fear of the Most High is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake.
Right, so Abraham responded to him and said, the reason why I did this, because I thought this place didn't fear God, didn't fear Yahweh, that they would slay me for my wife. Read.
And yet indeed she is my sister.
She is what?
She is my sister.
Come on.
She is the daughter of my father.
She is the what?
The daughter of my father.
Read.
But not the daughter of my mother.
But not the what?
But not the daughter of my mother.
Read.
And she became my wife.
And she what?
And she became my wife.
Pause right there. So, you know, Abraham, you know, he's being not slick with his feet, but he's like, but she is my sister though, right? She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, right? And she became my wife. What is Abraham trying to say? What is Abraham saying?
She's an Israelite woman.
She's an Israelite woman?
Comes from my father. So it comes from that lineage, that line, that nation of people.
That's not what he's saying. I see where you're going with that, but that's not what he's saying. Right? Anyone else? Let's go to Matthew, chapter 12, verse 46. Let's see what Christ said. So this is what the other religions and these other philosophies use to say, was Abraham really lying about his sister, about his wife being his sister anyway? He said here that she is my sister. So they believe, oh yeah, he married his half-sister. When that is against the law of the Most High. Right? We're going to find out what Abraham was saying, then we're going to go to the law that destroys what these other religions believe. All right? Read that.
Book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 46. While he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him.
So Christ was talking to the multitude, to the crowd, right? And his mother and his brethren were desiring to speak to him. Come on.
Then one said unto him, Behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee.
So one came to Christ and said, hey man, your mama and your brothers, man, they want to talk to you. Right? Read.
But he answered and said unto him,
What Christ said?
That told him, Who is my mother?
What Christ said?
Who is my mother?
Christ told the man who told him that his mother is looking for him to talk to him. He said, who's my mother? You get beat these days if you see that. Right? They pull out the chancleta or the belt on you, right? Read.
And who are my brethren?
And who is my brethren? Right? Come on.
And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said.
So Christ pointed at his disciples, right, after posing that question. Who is my mother? Who is my brethren? Read.
Behold, my mother and my brother.
He said, behold, these men, he ain't say these men, but I'm adding in there. These disciples, this is my mother. They are my brethren. Read.
For whosoever shall do the will of my Father.
For who what?
For whosoever shall do the will of my Father.
Come on.
Which is in heaven.
Read.
The same is my brother.
The same is my brother. Read.
And my sister.
The same as what?
My sister.
And my sister. Come on.
And mother.
And mother. That's what Abraham was saying. Sarah does the will of the Most High, and that's why she is my sister indeed. All right? And that's what he was trying to present to them. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom. So, he's not his... That's why he said, let's go back to the portion. We read verse 12 again. Everybody with me? Read.
The book of Genesis, chapter 20 and verse 10. And Abimelech said unto Abraham.
No, verse 12.
Verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
And yet indeed she is my sister.
Yet indeed she is my sister. Why? Because she do the will. Read.
She is the daughter of my father.
She is the what?
She is the daughter of my father.
She is my sister and the daughter of my Father who's in heaven. Yahweh, who is our heavenly Father. And since she do the will of him, she is my sister. Read.
But not the daughter of my mother.
But not the daughter of my mother. I can get it. Come. But not the daughter of my mother. And she became my wife. That's why she's a daughter of my father and not the daughter of my mother. Because she is the daughter of my heavenly Father. That is what Abraham is saying.
Just, I'll put up another example of that in the scriptures.
Yeah.
Tobit 7 and 16.
Come.
And this was a custom of Hebrews that had a wife that they loved to call them their sister.
Come.
It's a term of endearment. See that?
We're going to go to the book of Tobit 7 and 16 in the Apocrypha. You said 7 and 6?
7 and 16.
Oh, 16.
The book of Tobit, chapter 7 and verse 16. Page 4 in your pocket. After Ragal called his wife Edna and said unto her,
What he say unto her?
Sister.
What he say?
Sister.
Come on.
Prepare another chamber and bring her in thither.
Read.
Which when she had done as he had bidden her, she brought her thither, and she wept, and she received the tears of her daughter.
Come. So he was speaking to Edna, his wife, right? And Raguel speaking to Edna, his wife, and he was asking her to prepare another chamber. What he called her? He called her sister. You know, hey sister, can you get this for me real quick? Like Chief said, it's just another what you call it? A
term of endearment.
A term of endearment. You understand? Come on, shalom, shalom. So Abraham and Sarah are not related. That's just how we speak to each other for endearment, and also because those that, like Christ said, those that do the will of the Most High, those are my mother, my brothers, and my sisters.
It's like in a household, a wife might refer to her husband, once they have a child, as Abba.
Right.
Right? And the father might refer to the mother as Alma.
Right.
These are all terms of endearment.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, you know, so it's not that she's an actual sister.
Right.
It's a term of saying we're close, we're like family. We're family even though, you know, my husband and wife.
Come.
So it's the same thing. We do that all the time.
Right.
You know, I was in the Simeon, what they call Poppy. Everybody call Poppy.
Right.
Hey, Poppy to everybody.
Poppy.
Right? And you
Hey,
call
Poppy.
her mommy. Everybody call her mommy, whether it's your mommy or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Done.
So that's all it is.
Exactly. Beautiful precept right there. You know, I say mommy to everybody. Hey, mommy. God. So let's get Leviticus 18 and 9 and 11 real quick. 2:11. Just to shut down that philosophy that Abraham and Sarah are sisters. And we'll go back to brother and sister. The book of Leviticus chapter 18 verse 9.
The book of Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 9.
Read.
The nakedness of thy sister.
The nakedness of who?
The nakedness of thy sister.
Come on.
The daughter of thy father.
The daughter of thy father. Read.
Or the daughter of thy mother.
Or the daughter of thy mother. Come on.
Whether she be born at home or born abroad.
Whether she be your half sister or your sister from Fort Lauderdale and you up here at Port St. Lucie. Read.
Even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover.
Even their what?
Even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover.
Thou shalt not uncover their nakedness. Straight cut. Come on.
The nakedness of thy son's daughter, or of thy daughter's daughter, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover.
Thou shalt not cover the nakedness of thy grandchildren. Come on.
For theirs is thine own nakedness.
Come on.
The nakedness of thy father's wife, or thy wife's daughter.
Read that again.
The nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter.
Right. What they call that these days? Your stepsister. You can't even uncover the nakedness of your stepsister. Let it be your half sister. You can't do none of that. Read.
Begotten of thy father.
Because she came from thy father, but not from thy mother. Read.
She is thy sister.
She is thy what?
She is thy sister.
Read.
Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness.
Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. That's the law that we're going to learn later on in Leviticus. So, if Abraham being a righteous and perfect man, a friend of the Most High, why would he break God's laws and deal with his half-sister? No, the Most High didn't allow that thing. And when you read this, you'll see that the Most High's law, he's not contradictive. He's not contradiction. Because we're going to notice that there's no law against cousins and cousins getting together, right? Because that happened, right? There's no law even, I'll just leave it at that. You understand? Why are you laughing over there? You know, I'll just leave it at that. It might be, rated R. So, let's go back to the portion. There's the other precepts that you can pull is Leviticus 20 and 17, and then verses 22 to 23. But let's go back to the portion.
The book of Genesis chapter 20 and verse 13.
Come on.
And it came to pass when the Most High caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is thy kindness, which thou shalt shew unto me at every place whither we shall come. Say of me, he is my brother. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen and men servants and women servants, and gave them unto Abraham, and restored him Sarah his wife.
So like Chief mentioned, the endearment, that's what Abraham just acknowledged, that ever since he left his father's house, this is the kindness, right? This is how we speak to one another, because, you are my sister, because you are, like the brother mentioned, you are a fellow Israelite, right? You are my sister, or those that do the will of the Most High. Read.
And Abimelech said, Behold, my land is before thee. Dwell where it pleaseth thee. And unto Sarah he said, Behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver.
Now Abimelech, he's trying to keep up with the tradition. Like, he's like, all right, I gave your brother, I gave your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Because he ain't trying to mess with Abraham because he's scared. We gonna understand why. Read.
Behold, He is to thee a covering of the eyes unto all that are with thee, and with all other. Thus she was reproved.
Come on.
So Abraham prayed unto the Most High.
Remember, the Most High told Abimelech that Abraham's a prophet, that he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. He ain't get that prayer yet, so he had to make sure the way he communicated and all that is on point. Read.
So Abraham prayed unto the Most High, and the Most High healed Abimelech.
He what?
He healed Abimelech.
Read.
And his wife.
And his what?
And his wife.
Come on.
And his maidservants.
Read.
And they bare children.
Come on.
For the Most High had fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech, because of Sarah, Abram's wife.
Right. So it's like the Most High ain't nothing to play with. Right? The Most High came into a dream to Abimelech. He told him, listen, man, you a dead man. But I already shut up all the wombs of all your women and your maidservants. You can't bear nothing. But, you know, the next step is like, I'm going to put all you guys to death if you don't let Sarah go. Because this was already done. He needed to get that prayer from Abraham so this could be taken away. All right? Yes, Chief.
Just to point out, Abimelech took Sarah because his wife wasn't barren. He was trying to have children.
Oh, okay, come on.
Right? So that's why he said he knew what he did was with integrity.
Mm.
He didn't just take Sarah just to take Sarah. He took it because he's like, okay, this sister came with Abraham, and my wife's not barren. Maybe she can bear.
Okay.
So he's looking for a woman to bear children.
Oh, okay, come.
That's why he took it in the first place.
Oh, okay, come. Hallelujah.
So now he ended up getting the blessing.
Right.
When he gave Sarah back.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's what he had wanted in the first place.
Oh, okay, come. Come, hallelujah. So let's move on to chapter 21.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 21 and verse 1. And the Most High visited Sarah as he had said. And the Most High did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which the Most High had spoken to him.
Right, because that was what the angels, the three men, told Abraham when she laughed. When she overheard them talk, that at this time, you know, at this set time you shall give birth to a son. Come on.
And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare to him, Isaac.
What's his name?
Isaac.
Isaac means he laughs in Hebrew. Come on.
And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac, being 8 days old, as the Most High had commanded him.
Right, because as you guys read last week in the portion, the Most High commanded Abraham to circumcise. That was the covenant that the Most High made with Abraham, to circumcise all those that are in his household, that are under him, right? And anyone from 8 days old and up, right? That was the commandment that the Most High gave you, Abraham in Genesis 17, verse 10 to 12. Read.
And Abraham was 100 years old.
He was how old?
100 years old.
Wow. Come on.
When his son Isaac was born unto him.
That's why the Most High said nothing's impossible. Nothing's too hard for the Most High. Read.
And Sarah said, Most High had made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me.
Right, so Sarah said, the Most High made me laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. Right? Because now it's like the Most High made Sarah like eat up her words. You understand? She didn't believe, she lacked a little bit of faith because of her current, you know, what was going on with her, because she was barren and stricken with old age. Now the Most High, you know, made her eat up her own words and made her call her son Yitzhak, right? Yatazachaaq. Oh yeah, come. I should want to put that. Yeah, Yatazachaaq, which means he laughs. Yitzhak, right? Yeah, I'm thinking because that's what I was reading. Yeah, Yitzhak in the modern Hebrew. Right. Come on, let's read on. Verse 7.
And she said, Who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age.
Right. She was like, man, who would have said that I, at the age that I am, giving children suck? Right? For an old man like Abraham, he's 100 years old. Right? Read. And born him a son in their old age. Come on. No one gonna believe that. Right? Come on.
And the child grew and was weaned.
And was what?
And was weaned.
Come on.
And Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned.
And Abraham did what?
Made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned.
Listen, man. You know, this is a feast for when he came off the milk. Was Abraham going off for doing that? Nah. Is this a tradition? Is this a custom? Is this a high holy day, a feast day? Huh? No. So what? You know, I'm gonna show you something. Give me 1 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 19. He made a feast. What does it mean when somebody's weaned off of something?
No more milk.
That they don't no longer need it, right? He was weaned off the milk, right? So now Abraham made a feast. He's like, man, now he can eat some filet mignon. No, but it's a little bit deeper than that. Because now, like we about to read in Samuel's, now he's able to eat of the oblations and the offerings that we make unto the Most High. And that's something special. That they made a feast. Abraham made a feast about that. Right? When the man, they say what, the average, probably 3 years old maybe? You know, in these days, yeah, these days it's like, right. So, let's go to the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 19. Let's see another, not a similar situation, but something similar to what Abraham was doing. 19, right? It said 1 and 19. Got so many Bibles. All right. Go ahead, read.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 1 and verse 19.
Come on.
And they rose up in the morning early and worshiped before the Most High, and returned and came to their house to Ramah. And
Read.
Elkanah
Mm-hmm.
knew Hannah, his wife.
Read.
And the Most High remembered her.
Come on.
Wherefore it came to pass, when the time was come about after Hannah had conceived,
Mm-hmm.
that she bare a son,
Read.
and called his name Samuel.
Call his name what?
Samuel,
Read.
saying, because I have asked him of the Most High.
Right, it's Shamwala. Hallelujah. Right? So, Captain Bayath, when that feast day come, when he wean off the milk, it's gonna be a jam over here. We're gonna be doing karaoke, we're gonna be doing it all. Read.
And the man Elkanah
Mm-hmm.
and all his house went up to offer unto the Most High the yearly sacrifice and his vow.
So all the house of Elkanah went up to make a sacrifice that they do on a yearly basis. It's a tradition, right? It's part of their vow. Come on.
But Hannah went not up.
But Hannah didn't go up. Read.
For she said unto her husband,
What she said?
I will not go up until the child be weaned.
Until the what?
Until the child be weaned.
Until Shamwala be weaned. Read.
And then I will bring him,
That he
that
what?
he may appear before the Most High, and there abide forever.
Right, so Hannah said, I'm not going to go up with you guys until Samuel is off the milk and can eat food. So he can be there abiding with the Most High. That was a little more deeper understanding because we understand Samuel ended up playing a very important role in the book of Samuels and Judges and all that, right? That he was going to be a very important person, right? Read 23.
And Elkanah her husband said unto her, do what seemeth thee good.
Come on.
Tarry until thou have weaned him.
Read.
Only the Most High established his word.
Read.
So the women abode and gave her son suck until she weaned him.
Come on.
And when she had weaned him, she took him up with her, with 3 bullocks.
Now, once he came off the milk, now she's going up there, what they normally do on a yearly basis, with 3 bullocks. Come on.
And 1 ephah of flour.
With flour, come on.
And a bottle of wine.
A bottle of wine, come
and
on.
Brought him unto the house of the Most High, and Shiloh.
Read.
And the child was young.
And the what?
And the child was young.
Right, so this was a custom, right, that they would do on a yearly basis, but she did not want to go up with them until Samuel was able to eat of the offering, eat of the holy sacrifice, so he could obtain his blessing, right? So Abraham just didn't make a feast just because, oh man, now my son can eat steak and salad, he's gonna be a strong man, you know. No, it was because he can partake in the offerings that they make unto the Most High.
Right.
Yes, add?
Yeah. There's age brackets in the scriptures.
Yes.
So the age bracket, the first age bracket is from a month old to 5 years old.
Mm.
When you hit 5 years old, that's a celebration, that's a rite of passage.
Mm.
And I'm going to show that in Leviticus 27th chapter. It brings out the age brackets. So age matters in Torah and Scripture. I know oftentimes people coming to the truth, coming out of like Jehovah wickedness and stuff, would say, "Oh,
Right.
don't know your birthday, you're afraid
Right.
of your birthday, don't acknowledge your birthday." That's not Torah.
Right.
Torah, your age matters. You're supposed to know your age, and you're supposed to do certain things by a specific age.
What you
Right?
said, 5 and...
You can start with Leviticus 27. You
Oh,
can start with verse 3. You can start with verse 1.
Okay, got
Just so they can understand it.
Yeah.
The book of Leviticus chapter 27 and verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when a man shall make a singular vow, the persons shall be for the Most High by thy estimation.
Come on.
So a new vow, you got to give a certain amount of money, shekels, to the sanctuary.
Right.
For your
Come.
vow to be almost like you're making an exchange of value.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And thy estimation shall be of the male from 20 years old even unto 60 years old. Even thy estimation shall be 50 shekels of silver.
Right. So, all right, go ahead.
After the shekel of the sanctuary.
So that's one age bracket,
Mhm.
20 to 60.
Come.
Right? That's the age of your manhood or your womanhood, 20 to 60.
Come.
Right? Before you become an elder or you're younger. Read on.
Grab the microphone.
And if it be a female, then thy estimation shall be 30 shekels.
Right?
And if it be from 5 years old, even unto 20 years old, then thy estimation shall be of the male 20 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels.
There's another bracket of age. From 5 years old to 20 years old.
Come.
There's a bracket of age. Right?
Mhm.
We'll call it, this is like you're an adolescent, growing up. You know,
Right.
You're becoming a man or a woman, but you're not there yet. So that's from 5 to 20. Right? Read on.
And if it be from a month old, even unto 5 years old, then thy estimation shall be of the male 5 shekels of silver. And for the female, thy estimation shall be 3 shekels of silver.
Right, so this is we consider a baby, right? For lack of a better word, you know what I mean? Or
Right.
a child, a little child, right? From 1 month to 5 years old. Read on.
And if it be from 60 years old and above, if it be a male, then thy estimation shall be 15 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels.
So from 16 and above, you're what is called an elder. And the above is whatever, however the Most High grants you life. That's an eldership age. So there's age brackets in the scriptures.
Con.
So the age bracket of being weaned is from 1 month to 5 years old. And now it's a celebration because you're a big boy now, as they say. Right? You're a man child now. However you want to put it in layman's terms.
Right.
So there is a celebration
Right.
at that age.
Con.
So they did celebrate ages
Right.
in the scriptures. I'm just going to bring that up.
Con, no, hallelujah, because that was the route I was going. Because what we need to differentiate is not to keep the custom of the candles on the cake and then the little cone hats and all that stuff, because that's paganistic.
That's pagan demonic. Yeah.
Right? Because that it's something to do with Nimrod.
Yeah.
Right? You put in all these candles, you got this cone hat. That's what we need to stay away from, because that's a paganistic tradition. But like,
that's that same Pope hat.
right? Oh, exactly.
It's the fish head hat.
Con, yeah, bro.
So it's okay to celebrate birthdays, you just can't do the cake and the candles and all that.
We want to say there's nothing wrong with celebrating another year that the Most High gave you.
Right.
You know, apply mercy unto you. You understand?
Right.
And let you live another year.
Give God a praise.
Right, and give
You
the
know,
Most High. Right? Con.
In this world, you get the praise on your birthday.
Right.
Y'all are supposed to get the praise on that day, not
Right.
you. You didn't do anything that day. Y'all gave you life. Y'all gets the praise. Every
Right.
year you annually remember that Yah is giving you praise.
Right.
Has given you life on this day. So it's observed. But man has turned it into something about themselves.
Right.
Because they don't serve the Most High.
Right.
So now they made their day that Yah is giving you life an adversity of themselves.
Right.
Pick me up, put me on the flyer.
Con.
Most High supposed to be on the flyer.
Right. It's supposed to be a Yahweh bash.
Exactly.
Yeah, not a birthday bash.
Okay. So that's how it gets misconstrued in this society.
Right. And like what Chief mentioned, is like what they do now. They say, oh, my birthday's the whole month. We celebrated my birthday for 30 days. That's straight idolatry right there, man. You praising yourself for 30 days when you was only born on one day.
And you want other people to praise you.
And you want other people to praise. You get mad that nobody gives you no birthday gifts or birthday card. Nobody celebrate, say happy birthday, because it became idolatry now. So now that's what you praising. That's what you worshiping. You worshiping you, right? And not the Most High. Not giving all honor and glory to the Most High for allowing you to live another year. That's what the real observance is what we should do, And then how you do it, you gotta make sure it's Torah, it's kosher. You don't want to be in a strip club making it rain. It's my birthday. Oh, praise to the Most High. No, that is against Torah. That is wicked.
That's wicked as hell.
That's
So just the understanding. I don't want to put out understanding that's halfway, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we're not saying that you got to have birthday bashes or birthday cakes or birthday parties or anything like that, but you acknowledge your born day. You acknowledge it every year. You count your years because you enter different levels and different brackets of life according to your age.
Right.
If you're a priest in this walk, your ministry starts at the age of 30. If you did not count your years, how would you know that?
Exactly.
If you are a man in Israel, your manhood and your womanhood starts at the age of 20. If you didn't count your years, how would you know that?
Right.
Eldership in the priesthood is 50. Eldership in the nation is 60. Right? So these are different significant years in the structure of being Hebrews, Israelites, that are in our culture. Our culture has structure of ages. We have to understand that. So there's a certain, there's a certain understanding even with what age is supposed to be able to read Torah and all these type of things, right? So as we getting back to that structure of ages and expectations, we need to implement those things, right? Implement those things. It only helps us grow at a pace Right? Knowing that somebody is where they're supposed to be. Because if you're going to marry a wife, how old you need to be? How old you need to be?
20.
You need to be 20, right? Now, that's insignificant. In this society, what, you 15, 16 years old, these children running around sleeping with each other, right? As children. I'm saying 15, 16, it's probably worse than that.
Right.
But who's telling them what age is this sanctioned with the Most High? There's an age of sanction in this thing, right? And it's 20. But if they're not told this, then when they get feelings, and feelings turn to feelings, then they get the feeling, right?
Right.
But that is not what, that's chaos. So everybody's doing their own thing, and that's not of the Most High. Everything's done in decently in order. So the order is, there's age brackets to certain accomplishments in life, certain things that concern you at a certain age. And that's what the scriptures is showing us through the lesson that the captain has given us. All right, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Beautifully said. So let's go back to the portion. So, where was it? Oh, okay, Kyle. Yeah, back to the portion 21 and 9. So, as the child grew, which was Isaac, and he was weaned, Abraham made a great feast that same day that Isaac was weaned. And that's what I was aiming to, that age, as Chief mentioned, is an important thing to know as an Israelite. And that's all it was. Come on, hallelujah.
The book of Genesis, chapter 21 and verse 9. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be here, should not be here with my son, even with Isaac.
Right, so now Sarah, now she got Isaac, she feeling a little, I'm that ish, Who's this bondwoman in here with an Ishmaelite? It's like, get up out of here. Like, what you, it's like, the Most High dealing with me. He made me to laugh. What's this Hagar Egyptian? So now, but she's in the spirit. She's in the spirit, right? Just like later on, we're going to read how Rebecca is in the spirit. They say, oh, Jacob did Esau dirty, man. That was deception. It's all in the spirit. Read. Yes, I say.
Well, I was going to say, Hagar kind of egged it on as well.
Yeah, because he said he was mocking Isaac, and then I'm going to go into how old Ishmael is right now. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son.
Right, because at the end of the day, Ishmael is what? Is his what?
Son.
Is his son. Not only that, ain't that his firstborn? That's his firstborn son. So he felt like, man, what am I going to do? There's drama in the house of Abraham. Read.
And the Most High said unto Abraham, Let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad.
Right, so the Most High spoke to Abraham and said, listen, man, don't worry about them feelings you got right now in regarding Ishmael. Come on.
And because of thy bondwoman.
And regarding Hagar. Come on.
And all that Sarah had said unto thee.
Come on.
Hearken unto her voice. For in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
For in what?
For in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
Right, because, Sarah's in the spirit because she in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Right? So the chosen is going to come out of the seed line of Abraham and Isaac. Right? So don't let what she's telling you, make you grievous, because this is the prophecy that have to come to pass. Come on.
And also the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation.
Read.
Because he is thy seed.
Right, and Ishmael, I will make a great nation of him, because he is your seed at the end of the day. Right? Read.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and took bread, and a bottle of water, and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder.
Putting it on what?
On her shoulder.
Come on.
And the child, and sent her away. And she departed, and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba.
Come on.
And the water was spent in the bottle, and she cast the child under one of the shrubs.
Read.
And she went and sat her down over against him a good way off, as it were a bow shot. For she said, let me not see the death of the child. And she sat over against him, and lifted up her voice, and wept.
Read.
And the Most High heard the voice of the lad. And the angel of the Most High called to Hagar out of heaven.
And the what?
Out of heaven.
And the what?
And the angel of the Most High called to Hagar out of heaven.
Come on.
And said unto her, what aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for the Most High hath heard the voice of the lad where he is.
Read.
Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thine hand, for I will make him a great nation.
Read.
And the Most High opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. And she went and filled the bottle with water, and gave the lad drink.
Read.
And the Most High was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness, and became an archer.
And became a what?
An archer.
Come on.
And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran.
And he dwelt where?
In the wilderness of Paran.
Read.
And his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt.
Pause right there. So, you know, the Most High blessed Ishmael because he was still the seed of Abraham, right? I don't know, did Capt and I go into it last week? Who Ishmael is? Huh?
I think maybe a little.
Yeah, about being a wild man? Yeah, he went into it. So Ishmael, this present day, is who we call the Arabic people, right? The people of Palestine. The wilderness of Paran now is an area in Palestine. See, the Palestinians, you know, the Arabics, right? What they said the Most High was with them, and he dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer, you know, an archer, a man of war, right? Because that's what an archer is. He's using arrows, but what's the modern day arrow now? The AK-47 that Ishmael loved to walk around with.
The RPG.
That man, the RPGs, man. That man, well, they be at the feast days. Pow, 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 pow. Not only that, they became a great nation. Like the captain brought out last week in Genesis 17, it said that they shall be blessed and be fruitful. Don't Ishmael, the Arabic, be laughing at Esau when they say, you got only one child? I got like 100.
Saddam Hussein was child number 74 of his father.
Number 74. These guys are, it's not a coincidence that the 12 princes that came out the seed line of Ishmael, they still exist in those Arabic areas. Saudi Arabia, Palestine. What other countries got money, man? All those places, man. They be driving around in gold Lamborghinis. Dubai. What do you say? United Emirates, yeah, man. These peoples are sick, and they're one of the richest people in the earth. That's the blessing of Ishmael, right? The scriptures in Genesis 17 say he shall be a wild man. Every man shall have, he shall have his hand on every man, and every man shall have his hand on him. Don't they what they call, you know, the Arabics, the terrorists, Al-Qaeda, you know? ISIS. Anything to do with terrorism, yo, Ishmael's in there. He's always in there. Ishmael and the Russians. It's like Ishmael, he's the number one terrorist in the eyes of America. You understand? He is that wild man. He is the Arab. He is the progenitor of the Arabic people. All right? So I don't even have to go into that. But just to show, go to Genesis 17 verse 24 to verses 25. I'm just going to give you the age of Ishmael, because Ishmael was called a lad. So that's something that we, just want to know when we read on about Isaac, so we can understand how old Isaac probably was when Abraham was about to sacrifice him. So let's read that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 17 and verse 24.
Read.
And Abraham was 90 years old and 9.
How old was he?
90 years old and 9.
Come on.
When he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin.
Mm-hmm.
When he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin.
Read.
And Ishmael his son was 13 years old.
Was what?
13 years old.
Read.
When he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin.
All right, pause right there. How old was Abraham when Isaac was born? 100 years old. So how old is Ishmael at that time when he sent Hagar and Ishmael to the wilderness to get out of here? He was 14 years old. So that lad, that child was 14 years old. It's a big child, right? Just to give you an age of Ishmael when he departed from Abraham. All right? Let's go back to the portion. And they called Ishmael a lad. So a lad in the scriptures can be, I don't know, we can give it an age range. Probably teenagers, what they call preteens. You know what I'm saying? That's what they call it these days. Preteens. From like 10 to 14. Well, 14, you're already going to high school. So I'll say 10 to 14. 12 to 14, something like that. So let's go back to the scriptures. Back to the portion 22.
Book of Genesis, chapter 21 and verse 22. And it came to pass at that time that Abimelech and
Phicol,
the chief captain of the host, spake unto Abraham, saying, Most High is with thee, and all that thou doest.
Read.
Now therefore swear unto me here by the Most High, that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness that I have done unto thee, thou shalt do unto me, and to the land wherein thou hast sojourned.
Right, so Abimelech approached Abraham and made an agreement, wanted to make an agreement with him, wanted Abraham to swear that he's not going to deal falsely with him again like he did regarding Sarah, and calling Sarah his sister. Read.
And Abraham said, I will swear. And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of a well of water, which Abimelech's servant had violently taken away.
So now Abraham approaching Abimelech later on about a well of water that Abimelech's servants have taken away violently. So now there's some drama in that land. Read.
And Abimelech said, I wot not who hath done this thing, neither didst thou tell me, neither yet heard I of it. But today.
Right, so Abimelech just told Abraham, this is the first time I'm hearing about the situation. Read.
And Abraham took sheep and oxen, and gave them unto Abimelech, and both of them made a covenant.
Read.
And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves.
Come on.
And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What mean these 7 ewe lambs which thou hast set by themselves?
Right, so Abraham brought some oxen, some sheep, and gave them to Abimelech to make a covenant. And then he also brought these 7 lambs, right, of the flock by themselves after he gave them that sheep and oxen, right? And Abimelech asked Abraham, why are you bringing these 7 lambs here, right? Read.
And he said, For these 7 ewe lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that they may be a witness unto me, that I have digged this well.
Right, so Abraham responded and said, these 7 ewe lambs will be a witness. That's what they're playing. Their role right now is to be a witness for the situation that's going on right now, for the well that he digged. Read.
Wherefore he called that place Beersheba.
He called it what?
Beersheba.
Come on.
because there they swear both of them.
So this is where they made their covenant, right? Their oath. Come on.
Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba. Then Abimelech rose up, and Phicol, the chief captain of his host. And they returned into the land of the Philistines.
Read.
And Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba, and called there on the name of the Most High, the everlasting power.
The everlasting what?
The everlasting power.
Come on.
And Abraham sojourned in the Philistines' land many days.
Right, so in that same area where the well was, Abraham planted a grove, and he dedicated this area to the Most High. He called it, and he called on the name of the Most High, which is the everlasting power. It's like, what Beersheba means is just like it mentioned, is the covenant between him and Abimelech, is translated into Hebrew as the well of the sevenfold oath, which the sevenfold, the 7 ewe lambs that he brought to be a witness of the agreement that he was having between him and Abimelech. All right, so let's move on to chapter 22, last chapter.
The book of Genesis, chapter 22 and verse 1.
Read.
And it came to pass after these things that the Most High did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of.
Right, so now the Most High came to Abraham and told him to offer Isaac as a burnt offering, right? On one of the mountains, which he's going to let him know which one it is. Read.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up, and went unto the place of which the Most High had told him.
Come on.
Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes, and saw the place afar off.
So to get to this location where the Most High wanted him to offer the burnt offering, it took him about a 3 days journey. Come on.
And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the donkey, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you.
Right, so as they would come closer to the location, he saw it, but he didn't want the 2 young men to see what he was about to do, because he was about to offer Isaac for a burnt offering. So he told him, look, stay back here while I'll go worship. Me and Isaac are going to go worship the Most High. You know, so many people might go, man, Abraham was a liar, man. This man, all he do is lie, right? Everything happened for a purpose. You understand? There's a purpose to every situation. All right, read on.
And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son.
So he got the wood, and he said, he gave it to Isaac, like, hold to this. In his head, he's like, you about to be offered on this wood, man. You know, read.
And he took the fire in his hand.
And now he got the fire, you know, the stick with the fire in his hand. Come on.
And a knife. And they went both of them together.
Read.
And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said,
What he said?
My father. And he said, Here am I, my son.
Read.
And he said, Behold the fire and the wood.
So he asked Abraham, hey, he said to Abraham, hey, I see you got the fire, you know, and I got the wood. Read.
But where is the lamb for a burnt offering?
But where's the lamb for this offering that we about to make to the Most High? Right? Come on.
And Abraham said, My son, the Most High will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together.
He said, he told Isaac, listen, man, the Most High is going to provide that offering for us. Don't worry about it. Read.
And they came to the place which the Most High told him of. And Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood.
So when Abraham got to the exact location where the Most High wanted him to offer Isaac, he built an altar out of the wood and he laid Isaac on the wood, right? And Isaac must have been in the spirit, because, you know, if that was any other child, what are you doing, man? What's going on here? He was obedient to his father. He listened to everything his father said. And all he did was lay on that wood. He said, all right, I guess we're waiting on the lamb, you know, not knowing that he about to be offered to the Most High. Read.
And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son.
So Abraham reached for his knife, and he was about to slay his son to make that offering to the Most High. Read.
And the angel of the Most High called unto him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I.
Come on.
And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest the Most High, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me.
Thine only what?
Thine only son from me.
So the angel of the Most High came to Abraham and prevented him from slaying his son, right? And he knew at that moment that Abraham was feared the Most High, because he was about to take the life of his only son. But was that his only son? Was Isaac his only son?
No.
So why did Most High say that?
That's the chosen one.
Because that's what?
That's the chosen one.
Con. That's completely correct. We just read it in the last chapter, where it said, For in Isaac shall thy seed be called. He shall be the chosen one. He's the one that's going to make out of Isaac, out of Abraham's seed line, through his seed, which is Isaac, shall we make great nations, many nations. I had a precept and I lost it. Okay. But Khan, let's read on.
Verse 13.
It's going to tell us right here. Anyway.
And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horn.
Right, they go that offering that he told Isaac the Most High will provide us an offering, right? So it didn't make him a liar. Come on.
And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son.
Instead of his son. Come on.
And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh.
Jehovah Jireh.
Jireh.
Yeah, pretty good.
As it is said to this day, in the mount of the Most High it shall be seen.
Right, that's what Jehovah Jireh means. In the mount of the Most High it shall be seen. Come on.
And the angel of the Most High called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time.
Read.
And said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Most High, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies.
And thy seed shall what?
Possess the gate of his enemies.
Come on.
And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed.
Read.
Because thou hast obeyed my voice.
Because what?
Because thou hast obeyed my voice.
Stop right there. So, through Isaac, the Most High, through Abraham, the Most High blessed Isaac. You know, and through that seed line, right? This was just a reminder, because this promise was already made to who? To Noah, right? To Noah. Through Noah came Abraham, and now Isaac, and then later on Jacob. This is why the Most High is saying that you fear me, because you was about to take the begotten one, the begotten son, the chosen one. You was ready to slay him when, you know, you wasn't sure if you was going to have another chance with Sarah to make another son to be called your begotten one, to have another chosen seed. So that's why the Most High said that now I know that you feel me, because you was ready to take away your only son, knowing that Ishmael was his other son, but through Ishmael's seed is not the chosen seed line. It's through Isaac. You know, that's important to know as we read out through these portions, because that's going to kill all this John 3:16 stuff. Oh, the whole world, the Most High love it. The Most High has a chosen generation, a chosen people. Yes, he's a creator of all, but he deals with one group of people and one seed line, the righteous seed line, right? So let's read on.
So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba.
Right, so stop right there. So let's get the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 17. Because the moral of today's Torah portion is what? Faith without works is dead. You understand? You gotta have faith, but you also gotta do the works. Abraham had faith, but he was about to do the work. You understand? Who lacked faith? Lot's wife lacked faith, right? Because she's been doing the work, but then lost faith. That's why both of them correlate with each other. They coincide. You can't do one without the other. You can't do all the works and not have faith. Then you become a pillar of salt. You can't have faith and not do the works. Then you become a Christian. No, let's go to Hebrews 11:17.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 11 and verse 17.
Come on.
By faith, Abraham.
By what?
By faith, Abraham.
Read.
When he was tried, offer up Isaac.
Right, because the Most High, and the first thing that we read in this chapter is that the Most High tempted Abraham. How? Because he tempted Abraham to offer his son Isaac. Come on.
And he that had received the promises offer up his only begotten son.
His only what?
His only begotten son.
Come on.
Of whom it was said, that in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
Right. So through faith, Abraham was tried, right? But as we read in the portion, we understand that he had to act on it. He had to do something for that faith to be tried, right? Let's get James chapter 2, verse 20. James 2 and 20. 2 and 20 to 24.
The book of James, chapter 2 and verse 20.
So you can't keep continuing to do the works but then doubt. Like Chief Minister mentioned earlier, because we may be doing these works for so long that then doubts start coming. Like, man, when they've been talking about World War III for like 30 years, right? Since 2K, what they call it, the millennium?
Y2K or something like
that. Yeah. What they call it, Y2K? Yeah, that was 22 years ago. Don't say it again. And like we've been, our brothers that's on these corners preaching His word been talking about this for 22 years. But we can't be doubtful. We just got to keep doing the work. Put your hand on the plow and don't look back. Read.
The book of James, chapter 2 and verse 20.
Come on.
But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead?
Read.
Was not Abraham our father justified by works?
Justified by what?
By works.
But he had faith, right? But he also did the work. Come on.
When he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar.
And listen, man, I don't think anybody can do that. You gotta have a deep amount of faith to offer your only begotten son, the chosen one. Put him to death for the Most High. You gotta be very faithful and strong in that. Abraham showed signs of no doubt. Read.
Seest thou how faith wrought with his works,
How what?
How faith wrought with his works.
Read.
And by works was faith made perfect.
And by works was what?
Faith made perfect.
Come on.
And the scripture was fulfilled which said, Abraham believed the Most High.
He believed what?
The Most High.
Abraham believed God, right? We all, our people say, I believe in God, right? Read.
And it was imputed unto him for righteousness.
Come on.
And he was called the friend of the Most High.
The friend of who?
The Most High.
What Abraham did gave him the title of the friend of the Most High. Not many people hold that title. Probably can't even count on my hand. The friend. It was imputed unto him for righteousness. He was about to put his own son to death. And that was righteous in the eyes of the Most High. You know, it might sound harsh, but he was obedient. That was the key. He was obedient. Read.
Yea, see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only.
Right, because both, they go together. You can't have one without the other. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 44, verse 19. These are the closing scriptures.
The book of Sirach, chapter 44 and verse 19.
Ecclesiastes 44 and verse 19.
Page 97 in the Bible. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 44 and verse 19. Abraham was a great father of many people.
Of many who?
Of many people.
Read.
In glory was there none like unto him.
Man, in glory, they said, the scripture said there was none like unto Abraham. Come on.
Who kept the law of the Most High.
Who kept the what?
Who kept the law of the Most High.
Who kept the what?
Who kept the law of the Most High.
Come on.
And was in covenant with him.
Read.
He established the covenant in his flesh.
How did he establish the covenant in his flesh? Through what? No. Genesis 17? No. Flesh. Circumcision.
Yeah.
That was the covenant. Remember, we read it in the last portion. That covenant he did with the Most High, between him and the Most High, circumcision of the flesh. Read.
He established the covenant in his flesh.
Well, we're going into his works. This is what we're going into, Abraham's works. Read.
And when he was...
Who circumcised Abraham?
Oh, man, that's a good question. Yeah. The strong man, he was there was none like unto Abraham, boy.
You just don't want to say it.
There was none like unto Abraham. That's my answer.
You just don't want to say the answer.
He circumcised himself.
That's right.
He circumcised himself.
That's enough work right there.
Bro,
I believe.
there's no doubt in that mind.
You the man.
Yeah, Joshua ain't got nothing on that. Read.
He established the covenant in his flesh.
Read.
And when he was proved, he was found faithful.
When was he proved? Come on. That's when Abraham was tempted by the Most High. Read on.
Therefore he assured him by an oath that he would bless the nations in his seed.
And Isaac, come on.
And that he would multiply him as the dust of the earth.
Read.
And exalt his seed as the stars, and cause them to inherit from sea to sea, and from the river unto the utmost part of the land.
Right, and that's why, the 12 tribes of Israel, we received that blessing because of the acts of our forefathers. Abraham to Isaac, then we're going to read on as the portion go on. Isaac's acts, and then Jacob's acts. And then that's how the 12 patriarchs, the 12 tribes, obtain all these blessings. And then they have to do the works too. We all have to do the works. So let's go back to the portion and finish it. I have one more, but I'm not going to go to it. Well, the point that you brought out?
Yeah, that's
that was a rude awakening, huh? Man. A whole bottle of Mama Juana to do that. We was at 20. Yeah, verse 20.
Genesis chapter 22 and verse 20. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah, she had also borne children unto thy brother Nahor, Huz his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Kemuel the father of Aram, and Chesed, and Hazel, and Pildash, and Jidlaf, and Bethuel. And Bethuel begot Rebekah.
Begot who?
Rebekah.
Come on.
These 8 Milcah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother.
Abraham's who?
Abraham's brother.
Come on.
And his concubine, whose name was Remuel,
yeah.
Remuel, she bare also Tobah, and Gaham, and Tahash, and Makah.
All right, let's give the Most High a round of applause. That completes the portion. All honor and glory goes to the Most High Yahweh, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for his mercy endured forever. Does anybody have any questions or anything they would like to ask? Any statements they'd like to make in regards to the portion? Huh? You acknowledge your age. Acknowledge your age. And give praises to the Most High. When were you born? What day you was born? July the 15th? Oh, so your born day passed already. So, you know, you gave praises to the Most High that day. Huh. So, any other questions?
Mike? Oh, question on there?
Yes. Oh, we keep forgetting to drop a mic on that side. Huh?
Yeah, they drop a mic over there.
So you want to cook something, have something special for that.
I was just wondering whether Abimelech, if Sarah was already old, why did he need to bear children with her? She was already up in age. Just curious.
Oh, why did you give her children?
Yeah, that question came into my head too. You know that his wife was barren. But go ahead, Chief.
His wife was barren. He wanted to take.
Yeah, he taking any risk. He taking any chance he can get. Yeah.
He too picky at this point.
Right. Yeah. So and you gotta remember too. Remember, she was also still a fair woman. Yes, she was still a fair woman. So you know what they like to say in this society: black don't crack. You know? So she probably looked like she was 90. She was 90 but looked like she was 40.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. So he was just hey, she's probably not barren. That's what he was thinking. You know, so she could probably give me birth, conceive a child for me. Hallelujah. Any other questions? All right. So you have something, brother? Okay. You got anything to say, Chief? All right, let's get a round of applause for our special guest, Chief Shalom, Chief Minister Shalom in the building. You know, we want to give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh for allowing us to have another Shabbat portion in peace, and that I hope everyone obtained some understanding and, you know, and took down some notes. We normally just shut down the live, do our announcements. But you know, leave it up. Don't shut down the live. Let's let's go with the announcements. The upcoming high holy days and the feast days. I see Chief looking at me like, why you got shut down? I read that man's mind. Let's pull up the calendar, please. So, our next feast day coming up is the new moon, right? Which is around Thanksgiving, right? I believe it is November 23rd. Hallelujah. I'll be off. Good old Thanksgiving got me off. So I believe that is a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So Thursday at evening on November 23rd, we will be holding the new moon feast day here. So those that would like to come join and come, dwell with your brothers and sisters in mirth and gladness, we'll be sending out in the group chat, the Treasure Coast group chat, the things that you want to bring for that feast. We will be here at, we will have a service at 7. The goal is to have a service at 7 p.m. in the evening. All right, so that'll be the new moon for the month of Kasulu as we get closer to Hanukkah. All right, the Feast of Dedication. So the Feast of Dedication, our first day, will be December 17th. All right, that'll be, I'm not sure, do we have a venue?
We will have one. It's TBD. To be
Okay.
announced.
Okay.
To be determined.
Okay, con. So, as of right now, the venue will be to be determined for the Light of Zion to have their Hanukkah opening on December 17th. So just keep your ears open for that. All right, and then the next new moon will be on December 22nd, which I'm not sure what day that falls on. I think that one's like on a Monday, right? No, actually, that's on the weekend too. Oh, look, another Thursday. I'll be off too, you know. Oh, okay. You're right. Yes. So Salaki on that. So November 23rd is a Wednesday at evening. So that day we'll have new moon. So we'll be here Wednesday on evening. And then December 17th, which is the opening of Hanukkah, all praise to the Most High, will be on the Shabbat, right? It'll be on the Shabbat. That'll be the opening at evening. And the closing, I believe, is the 24th of December, which will be the next week on Shabbat again at evening. And in between that, we'll have our new moon on the 22nd, which is a Thursday at evening, right? And then we'll go on to our last new moons for the rest of the calendar. All right, and then we have a daylight fast from morning to evening on December 31st, which it falls on a Shabbat
Just
too.
want to clarify, Hanukkah opening is not on the Shabbat. It's on Rosh.
Okay.
It's on Saturday evening, right?
Oh, Salakia, yes, Saturday evening, not Shabbat.
Yeah.
I'm so used to Saturday. Saturday evening, which is the end of the Shabbat. That's right. The end of the Shabbat. My bad.
You said that's the opening of the Feast of Dedication?
Yes, right.
Saturday
So
night.
Saturday night at evening. So not on the
19,
Shabbat.
right?
The 17th.
17.
Right there. So we'll send that calendar. We always like to resend it in the group chat so you can obtain it. Oh, we'll get it. Yeah,
It's also on the community tab, on the Light of Zion, on the YouTube.
Oh, okay, on the website, right?
Under the community tab, on the Light of Zion on YouTube, you'll see that calendar is up there.
Oh, on the YouTube channel. Okay. Headquarters?
Yes.
Okay, con. So on the Light of Zion headquarters channel, on the community tab, you can see our upcoming feast days and high holy days. So you can take record and take note of that. All right, that's all the announcements. Does anybody have any other announcements? No? All right, so with that being said, we're going to set up the closing prayer. All right, don't forget to support your troops here at the Light of Zion Treasure Coast. Send the CashApp, hit up the CashApp, Acts 20 and 35, $ LOZ Treasure Coast. Support your troops. We out here on the four corners of the earth spreading this truth and trying to gather our people together in these perilous times and these latter days. So with that being said, we want to say Shalom to the nation of Israel. All praises to the Most High Yahweh, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, in the name of Mashiach Yahushai. Have a blessed rest of your Shabbat day, and catch us in the streets.